who's to say that these lockdowns are as effective as the media is just assuming that they are? There have obviously been other policies that Cuomo has enacted that have led to the needless deaths of thousands of people, particularly elderly people. And yes, a lot of people, or some people in the media, have reported on that, but all the people calling Bethany Mandel a grandma killer haven't come back and said, you know what, that was probably unfair for me to accuse her of being that, when the real, if you want to, I wouldn't call him a grandma killer, but if you want to use that terminology, the real people who are actually responsible, directly responsible for the deaths of thousands and thousands of elderly people, they're not some conservative journalist or commentator on Twitter. They are these leaders who are making the decisions to put people with coronavirus back into nursing homes. Thankfully, after a lot of people made a fuss about this, mostly conservatives, they reversed the policy, but it took people saying something about it and making a fuss about it for them to reverse it. If no one had noticed, I highly doubt they would have changed course. But this shows you not only the power of the media and the power of the narrative, but also the purpose of media. Many in media have treated Cuomo like all of this just happened to him, but Trump has been given the responsibility for even problems that aren't his responsibility, like what states decide to do. Whereas Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, according to May 15th article in the Sun Sentinel, DeSantis' handling of coronavirus was approved by 49% and disapproved by 36%. So Governor Cuomo, responsible for the deaths of thousands of old people, has hundreds of thousands of cases in his state, tens of thousands of deaths. He has an 81% approval rating. People are talking about him being the Democratic nominee. Ron DeSantis, with much fewer deaths and fewer cases, has a 49% approval rating. Rich Lowry at New York Post says this: an irony of the national coverage of the coronavirus crisis is that at the same time DeSantis was being made into a villain, New York Governor Cuomo was being elevated as a hero, even though the DeSantis approach to nursing homes was obviously superior to that of Cuomo. Florida went out of its way to get COVID-19 positive people out of nursing homes, while New York went out of its way to get them in, a policy now widely acknowledged to have been a debacle. So Florida fortified the hospitals with PPE, but DeSantis realized, this is still part of the article, but DeSantis realized that it wouldn't do the hospitals any good if infection in the nursing homes ran out of control. If I can send PPE to the nursing homes and they can prevent an outbreak there, that's going to do more to lower the burden on hospitals than me just sending them another 500,000 N95 masks. Of course, that's true. When the state was seeing infections at nursing homes, presumably caused by staff, DeSantis deployed what he calls an expeditionary testing force, 50 National Guard teams of 4 guardsmen together with the Department of Health personnel that tested staff and residents. The state has just deployed a mobile testing lab in an RV that has a rapid test with results in an hour or two. It has also started a Sentinel surveillance program for long-term care facilities, routinely taking representative samples to monitor for flare-ups. Finally, it has established several COVID-19 only nursing homes, with a couple more in the pipeline. The idea, again, is to get COVID-19 positive residents out of the regular nursing homes to the maximum extent possible. Obviously, that seems like common sense. That would be what you do. But of course, New York didn't implement those policies. Florida did. And DeSantis has been dragged through the mud by the media, whereas Cuomo has been hailed as a hero. Cuomo, 81% approval rating, even though hundreds of thousands of deaths, thousands in nursing homes alone because of his policies. DeSantis, 49% approval rating, when his state of over 21 million people, more than New York, by the way, and a large elderly population, there have been only, again, 50,000 confirmed cases and only 2,200 deaths. Of course, every case is bad and every death is tragic, but if you're just looking at the numbers here and the policies, it seems like DeSantis has done a much better job and he's not getting the same kind of treatment in the media.